In the 1940s, the Disney Company was not doing well. Many of the films that had to be anthology hybrid films were initial box office bombs that received mixed reviews. The war was not kind to this company. But as we know, when it ended and 1950 came, its whole demeanor changed. The post-war calm brought many Americans a new outlook on life. They were now more than happy to be alive, and they wanted their entertainment to reflect that lightheartedness. Either it was a whimsical fantasy or adventure, they wanted to pass down traditional stories to share values, which worked in hand with them having kids of their own. Because of this, Disney now dominated this time period. Now, they could do any movie they want, and people are now able to come and see them. This is when they made some of the most famous and profitable films, even finding a knack for live-action movies. And what do we also know about the beginning of this decade? Well, the plans for Disneyland were starting to be made. As a means to promote the park, in 1954, the Walt Disney's Disneyland Anthology series was launched on ABC. Each installment had teasers for the upcoming park, even having episodes with segments solely dedicated to one of the main 4 sections of it. But of course, one of these specials were more famous than the others. It was a huge cultural impact, and it helped make Disney what it is today. And it was none other than a coonskin hat folk hero. Based upon the real-life soldier, pioneer, and congressman, Davy Crockett was a 5-part serial in 1-hour episodes. And it was a huge hit. Little boys went crazy over him, which led to a huge collection of merchandise to be sold. Never before has a Disney product at this time had so much paraphernalia being sold for it. This was something pretty special, and all for a relatively simple and folksy miniseries. So was it worth it? Yes. But before I begin explaining the show, I need to give some technical context. In 1955, the first 3 episodes were edited together to make into a theatrical movie. This is now pretty much the only way you could get footage for the show. Yeah, that sounds a little weird, but remember, reruns weren't a thing yet. If you wanted to rewatch your favorite TV show, too bad. You just had to wait a few years until home video and or syndication became a thing. So repackaging it for theaters was a smart move, and in this way, you could see it in color, unlike on TV. And yes, the last 2 episodes were also edited together for theaters, but we'll get to that. Just wait. Okay, let's run down this awesome show so I can explain why it's so great. It starts out with Davy Crockett and his sidekick, George Russell, volunteering for General Jackson's army, while playing that theme song that will never, ever leave my head. But overall, this is a pretty dangerous and fun episode. In the second one, Davy finds out his wife is dead, and he runs to be a representative. This one isn't as action-packed as the last one, but it's a good episode. I appreciate how they use this time to do some intelligent talking. But the highlight of this episode is this.
Go in there and you're committing political suicide.
You know what I think about your kind of politics?
Ooh, that feels so good. In the third episode, Davy is no longer a congressman, so he decides to find his next adventure, Texas. Oh, Texas? Awesome, we're gonna have lots of fun there. Right, this happens. Yes. As we know from real-life history, Crockett and so many other brave souls died trying to defend the Alamo from enemy forces. And you know what? This episode does not shy away from that at all. They literally show the Republic of Texas losing, people getting killed. Little kids were probably freaking out seeing their hero get cornered by the bad guys. But I respect them on showing them the sad truth, what really happened. Even though this whole episode was pretty depressing, it does end on a hopeful note. Wow, what a great and mature way to end your miniseries. Oh wait, no, that didn't happen. Turns out when the 3rd episode came out, Davy got only more popular, so at least 2 more episodes had to be made. And since they killed off their main character, this serves as like a prequel for the events before the Alamo. It's no way bad, it's actually a really fun premise. In The River Pirates, Davy meets another folk legend, Mike Fink. You know how Davy is like the king of the wild frontier? Well, Fink is like king of the rivers, racing keelboats on the mighty Mississippi. They're enemies at first, of course, But they eventually become friends, even defeating the river pirates together. And that was the whole Davy Crockett miniseries. I loved it. I think it's awesome. I loved how chill it could be, but also just pure adventure. Some parts of it made me feel like a little kid again, cheering the pioneer on. Davy himself is a great character. He's good-humored, skill-filled, and very high-moraled. He's just an overall role model. I think it's obvious why so many boys looked up to him so much. There are times where he is pretty cocky and full of himself, but you can argue he has a right to be.
What in thunderation is that?
Oh, it's something I've been experimenting with. You see, there's nothing so absolutely unresistible as an old-fashioned good-natured grin. Like this.
He's my favorite Disney character. Oh, sorry, second favorite. So what was the legacy this show left behind? Well, let's start with the theme park it was made to help promote. The lead actors were in Disneyland on its opening day, even doing meet and greets. Frontierland revolved around Davy and its beginning, having the Davy Crockett Frontier Arcade and the Mike Fink Kill Boats. And sadly, both of these things are no longer around. However, we still have the canoes in the homage window. Believe it or not, but they did a continuation in 1988, another prequel before the Alamo. And like many things from the Disney anthology series, it's now lost media. I can't even find a home video release of it, even though for the original series, you could find tons of those. I could only find promos and trailers for it, for which we find out Johnny Cash was going to play an elder Davy Crockett in one episode.
Now here to sing the theme song is one of the stars of the new Davy Crockett series, Johnny Cash.
Sing along with me. Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free.
Disney only rarely references him now. They don't even make very much merch based on him, which is a shame because I want that. Now, I don't expect this video to convince Disney to do a reboot film, but if you do, call me. I want to do it. But I want them to do something with him. Have him be a walk-around character around Frontierland, just anything. You owe him that. He helped you guys get your identity. You think it's some coincidence that after this came out, Mickey Mouse Club and even more live-action films came out? No, I don't think so. I truly believe Davy Crockett helped in some way for Disney to become more of a brand. Even if they don't do any of the things I suggested, I at least hope I introduced you to Davy Crockett, and now you want to watch his adventures. I know it's slightly romanticized, but that's more than okay. It's warranted. It's to show the legacy of American hero, who became known as the King of the Wild Frontier.
Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier.